13 mitigator Ford Fusion. I'd like to thank you for listening to Let's Talk Racing.tv.
Driver of the number 5 Kiker Motorsports Camry. Welcome to Let's Talk Racing TV.
With Rockingham Speedway. Thanks for listening to Let's Talk Racing.
I'm Tony Peter, driver of the number 17 Toyota in the NASCAR Camp World Truck Series, and you're listening to Let's Talk Racing.
Hey guys, I'm Daytona 500 winner Trevor Bain, and thank you for watching Let's Talk Racing.
I'd like to welcome everybody to Let's Talk Racing. Y'all trying to do a little ear something or over there or what?
I'm just back.
We got Al Pearce tonight with us. Of course, Scott Allen and Jack Dodson and myself, Roger Brehm. And we got Brian Morehouse on the line. Hey Brian, how's it going?
Hey guys, how are y'all doing?
Good.
So tell us what all's up with you now. You got all kinds of stuff going. You done moved back to Virginia?
Yeah, I moved back to Virginia. Still got the place down in Charlotte and everything, but was really wanting to get back to the area. My parents are getting a little bit older now, and really want to get back here. So I moved back down probably about 3 weeks ago, and nothing like moving. Like, whew, don't want to do that again. But got down here, really enjoying it, trying to get around, seeing everybody. And been telling Roger, I promise you, I'm making this promise right now, I will be in the studio within the next couple of weeks. So I told him a couple weeks ago I'd be on down, and I haven't stuck to my word, but I'm going to stick to my word and get down there and see y'all guys and see how everybody's doing, and of course get by and see his wife, and I haven't got to see her in almost a year now, so really looking forward to it and glad to be back around here.
Oh, we're glad to have you back around here. So you can come see Scott too, because nobody goes to see him normally.
You guys can see me? Well, that's how I felt down in Charlotte. We go a couple of weeks at a time, and nobody would ever be coming by, but half the time I was out of town. But I always got company twice a year. Isn't there 2 races in Charlotte?
Yeah. I bet. Well, I was getting ready to hit you up myself there.
Telling you, I could always count on a full house. It was like a bed and breakfast. One time I think I had as many as 12 people in the house. They were crashed everywhere, but they came down, had a good time at the race, and well, really it's 3 times. I'm sorry, you got 3 weekends.
Yeah, that's right.
2 big race weekends, and you got the All-Star race. So, but it was always nice to be able to have people down, and it's such a good area to be able to take people around and show them the history of everything with DI around there, and of course Hendricks and all the race shops, and it was really a lot of fun. So I miss those times, but I'm looking forward to making even better times by being back in the area and really looking to get involved with short track racing around here when I'm not on the road as much. One of the big things for this year is, cutting back on schedule and everything else. So right now I'm trying to concentrate as much as I can on touring division and hopefully be, still working some cup events when needed.
How many? The NASCAR made a bunch of cuts, didn't they, as far as the people involved and the officials and stuff this year?
Well, yeah, there was, they came out with, different procedures on being able to inspect the cars and stuff. So, a couple of people retired and everything else. And from what I'm hearing, everything's going real good with it. And, the whole inspection process, and y'all guys have seen this through Martinsville and Richmond and those places. People sometimes think you just open the gates and start selling hot dogs and popcorn and, the race goes on, but they don't realize that those cars on the national event sometimes get inspected as many as 5 times. throughout a weekend. And, NASCAR's doing everything they can to, simplify everything and make it a little bit better and good for the teams and everything. And I think they've really worked hard on trying to improve everything, and it looks like things are going pretty good right now.
Brian, I know you're not around it quite as much as you'd like to be, I presume. But yesterday when they made some rules adjustments, they call them, to the qualifying deal, you knew that was coming. Probably a lot of folks knew that was coming. Is that generally thought of to be a good rule, that you can now cool your engines on pit road? You don't have to drive around a racetrack slowly to get it done?
Well, personal opinion coming from me, after hearing from quite a few people, involved in racing and with race teams, they were wanting to be able to have NASCAR try to look into that rule, and they felt like it was beneficial to teams to be able to do that. And I imagine NASCAR got together and came up with a situation where they could be fair to everybody. And this whole qualifying is really new to everybody. And it's like everything I imagine. Again, a personal opinion. I like it. Some people may not like it and everything, but I think that what NASCAR did is they got together and they found out what they really need to do to be able to be fair to every team, and went ahead and developed this rule to be safer and of course be able to still have equal competition with all the race teams.
It's a good thing they did it, I think, yesterday, effective this weekend. Can you imagine Bristol, people trying to run hot laps while the other half of the field, or maybe more than that, are just out poking around on the bottom to get ready to make a hot run? This was the perfect time to do it, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I imagine, I'm not in management with NASCAR or anything, but they definitely are looking at every situation as much as they can, and I'm pretty sure they had their eye on it by this weekend. Lord knows you don't need no more temper flying at Bristol than what already happens. Short track racing, and a lot of people, if you've never been to Bristol, it's a whole new animal. Definitely, that is a track that if you ever want to go to a track, that's probably one of the tracks you want to go to, because there's just so much excitement. There's so much going on, and as you stated, you're right. I just couldn't imagine, one car trying to cool down and another one trying to take hot laps on the top side, and trying to get around. So I imagine NASCAR took a very good look at it and came up with this solution, and we'll see how everything goes.
And certainly, if not this weekend, imagine at Martinsville.
Yeah.
Trying to cool your motor on the racetrack while 25 other guys are trying to run wide open. That would have been, even Martinsville would have been far more of a disaster than Bristol.
Yeah, Martinsville, being the way it's laid out and everything, you're definitely right. You've seen plenty of races there in your time that, it could have probably have been, a more serious situation. And like I said, they've probably taken a very good look at it and studied it from every angle and probably came up with what is best and, with the rule. And we'll see it in place this weekend, and then we'll go from there and we'll hit Martinsville and see how it goes there and keep on getting it. And hopefully, if NASCAR keeps on seeing a better way to be able to, create a better situation, they'll keep on looking into it and develop it.
Well, I know the teams were, a lot of the teams were looking at different things they were getting ready to do starting this coming weekend. They were talking about building humongous fans and hooking them to the cars and doing all kinds of stuff. They'd already put the prototypes out and was trying to get them done.
It's really weird, whether you're in the touring series, national series, or even Saturday night racing. Them crews are always thinking. That's their job.
Yep.
They're always going to try to find a way to be able to make themselves better, whether it's in qualifying or in race trim or whatever. They're always thinking, and you're right. They were probably trying to come up with ideas to be able to help themselves with the qualifying process, and trying to be able to do what they could with the system.
Well, I asked an engine builder or an engine tuner this week from Hendrick. I was talking to him, and I was telling him, I said, well, why didn't NASCAR just say no tape? You can't run any tape on it during qualifying.
That's
He said that's not even going to make any difference because they're going to find out another way to block it off.
Yeah.
On the inside.
So it didn't. He said that wasn't even a matter. So.
You know, and Roger could probably even speak for this one back during his late model days. You think about it, whether NASCAR or a local track comes up with a rule, and, you know, whether it's tape or it's blocking off air or whatever it may be, someone's going to try to think of something and be a little bit more, you know, trying to improve the system and being able to try to get that advantage. So I think what NASCAR's done, I think we're going to see this weekend, and I think it's going to be something pretty good to watch.
3, 4, 6, 8.
I hear noise.
It's probably the wind.
No, it's Roger.
Oh, Roger talking to somebody.
You weren't crazy out.
Well, I am, but not this kid. Not this kid.
But now y'all going to Bristol this weekend?
Yeah, I'm leaving tomorrow morning, in fact.
I hear you.
I've been trying to get out and let me, you know, chauffeur him, but he won't buy it.
He won't let you do that?
I've seen him drive. I'd rather drive myself.
You think you're safer when you're don't you?
Well, I'm not sure.
That's
I'm
good to
safer.
know, Al. That's good to know.
Probably so, yeah. Yeah.
From what I understand, from the weather report I'm getting, it's supposed to be a cold one. I talked to some of the guys with K&N this morning that were flying out, and some of them were packing winter clothes, and some of them were packing summer clothes. It's going to be cold one day, and maybe warm the next day, and you know, man, this weather around here, I'm trying to get used to the Virginia weather and all the snow that's been coming here lately.
Well, Charlotte wasn't a whole lot better down there where they were having snow when we wasn't.
Yeah. But I tell you what, right before I left Charlotte, it got a real cold snap there in January, and then we ended up getting about 10 inches of snow. And, you know, a place where it doesn't snow a lot, it's, and I don't mean this because I never want to see accidents or anything like that, but it gets pretty comical. You know, people are out there thinking that they know how to drive in it, and I don't even think Charlotte was really prepared for that much snow. And I know for myself, I was scared to death. I mean, and it was only about 7 inches when I left the office going home, and that truck was all over the place. So, but yeah, I think I've had enough of snow this year. I think I'm ready for spring, and I promise y'all guys, on any radio show in the future, I will not complain about sweating this summer.
Don't say that until it gets hot.
You know, the last couple of years, if you've looked at my schedule, I try not to work a whole lot in July and August. And Morehouse just doesn't do good with sweating. I mean, I'm not saying that, you know, I'm too good for it or anything. It's just I just don't do real good. I get that temper starts to flying and everything else, and them uniforms are hot. We don't get to wear those cool suits or anything. So, but I've been trying to trim back a little bit during the summertime, hot days. But, you know, maybe this year, I don't know whether I'm working a whole lot in July and August or what I'm going to be doing. Well, right now, it doesn't look like a whole lot with the touring series since we take a major break with the Southern Mods into August. We finish up at the end of April, right before Richmond, and we don't go back until July when we go to Caraway, and then, of course, August when we go to Bowman Gray. So we take a little bit of a long break, but filling in for other series. You know, it seems like I always, when I do fill in, I got to go to the hot places.
Well, you're going. I think it'll be a good race down at Southern National this weekend with the mods.
Well, I really think it is. We really had a good race this weekend. We were at Caraway. It was our season opener for the Southern Modified. We went Southern Modified Tour, and we had 19 cars, and we had 19 really good cars. And I tell you, it was a good race. Andy Seiss ended up winning it, which is a great team. Matter of fact, all the teams that are driving with us this year have really just, it's so great to be able to see these guys. They work so good together and everything, and the cars have just come a long way, and the racing is really tight. We have what's called a midway break, you know, at 75 laps. They come down pit road. Some people like it, some people don't. It gives the teams a chance to be able to make minor adjustments and be able to change the tires on the car around without adding anything. and making the adjustments that they basically need to be able to make themselves a little bit more competitive in the second half of the race. And it was a very good race with good weather, and we're really looking forward to going down to Southern National and putting on a great show.
I think that don't y'all come to Langley fairly early in the year?
Yeah, we're coming to Langley. I don't have my phone right in front of me, but I believe it's April the 12th.
Yeah, I think it's not Langley's opening night, but it might be their maybe their second night.
Yeah, Langley's opener, I believe, is April the 5th. We'll be in town April the 12th. We're doing 2 races at Langley this year with the Southern Mods, and the K&N is doing their normal one race in June. We're actually added a second race to South Boston. We're going to be there early this year, which will be, I believe, in April, and maybe it's March, and then we're going to be there later on in the year. So really looking forward to that. 2 really good tracks. Where we're visiting now is, we're hitting Langley a couple of times. We're hitting Sobo a couple of times. We're going to Southern National, I believe, 2 or 3 times. Caraway, quite a few times. Bowman Gray, Charlotte, New Hampshire, and Bristol. So I think I've hit all of them. I hope I have.
Wow.
So, but always real good competition at all those tracks, and it really helps the drivers develop. Being able to hit those different tracks, and then of course being able to go back to it a second time within that year and seeing that they've improved on their setup and everything else. And talking with the guys, I know quite a few of them are looking forward to coming out to Langley and putting on a good show. They always have. We've been coming for quite a few years now, and like you just said, it's always been a one-race situation, but this year we've got 2 Southern Mod races there, so I think it's going to be pretty good. Still got the Labor Day date that they've had since, they signed us on, but really looking forward to it.
All right, Brian, well, hopefully we'll run into you somewhere along the line, and we'll get back with you soon, and see you soon here.
Alrighty, guys. Y'all take care and have a great weekend, and we'll talk soon.
All right, man. Talk to you later.
Talk to you later. Switch over to the other one.
I'm getting there. Let's talk racing. Is this Cale Conley?
This is Cale. How's it going?
Hey, man. This is Jack Dodson. Got Al Pearce and Scott Allen and Roger Brehm here tonight. And I hear you got some big things going on this weekend.
Yeah, we have. We got 2 races to run. The K&N race and my first nationwide race ever. So I'm looking forward to this. I'm so excited.
So how did you come up with that deal with Richard Childress? I mean, how did that all come about?
I ran the full K&N season last year, and I knew that I'm 21 now, and I knew that it was time. If I'm gonna make it in this sport, it was time to move up and make my first start in one of the big 3 series. And I was originally aiming for trucks. I thought that was a realistic thing that could happen. So, and then all the contacts I made and relationships I built, that's kind of how this all started. And then when the idea kind of came up and arose, like 6 days later, this deal was done and signed, and here we are now, headed to Bristol for my first race ever. I couldn't have a bigger smile on my face than I do, leading up to this point.
And you've got an experienced team and an experienced car. I mean, your car has been, it's been out there every week for the last couple of years, so you've got some points to go on.
Yeah, and not only that is Nick Harrison, my crew chief. He's super smart. He's down to earth, very relatable, easy to talk to. And then being a rookie in my first race ever, I don't think I could have a better crew chief. And like you said, there's so many good drivers in this car, and this car does so well that there's a lot of good people to lean on and for advice and help. I know that makes it a little more pressure on me to keep the running good pattern going, but with all the resources that I have at RCR and everything I've been lucky enough to, all the people I've been lucky enough to meet and everything, it's a doable deal.
Now I got one thing to ask you, but you scared me a little bit when you said something a minute ago. You said Nick Harrison is a good, good guy. I've known him for a long time. I'm not sure about that. No, he is. I'm sorry. I was just joking. He is.
He ain't gonna say nothing bad about it.
Cale, you just mentioned something that was kind of interesting. You said that you were 21 now and you thought it was time that you made a move. You either had to go up or down or out or whatever. Have you ever heard of a guy named Harry Gant?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any idea how old Harry Gant was when he started his Cup career?
Know that he was well over 21.
He was 40.
Yeah.
40. So even though now, and I'm not arguing with you at all. I'm saying times have changed dramatically, and you are right. At your age, it's probably about time that you kind of begin to make your move. But there was a time when guys never even got a sniff until they were in their 30s, and Harry Gant didn't ever get a ride till he was 40. That's how much the sport has changed, and you are very fortunate to be as young as you are with as good a background and as good a people around you. You could race for 18 or 19 years and retire, and you'd barely be as old as Harry was when he started. So thank your lucky stars or whoever that you've got a chance at 19 or 20 or 21 to do what a lot of guys didn't get to do until they were 40.
Oh, absolutely. I couldn't be more grateful and thankful for this opportunity. Growing up racing since I was just a little kid in go-karts and quartermen, I saw that there was so much talent, so many kids that were capable of moving to the next level, but just never had the opportunity or the funding to even get to a place where they could really show and showcase their talent. And that's what I think about that all the time. Like, this is such an awesome opportunity for me. I'm gonna go out there and bust my butt and do it as best I can, give it 120% for all the kids that are coming up now, and just to show them, keep digging. Anything's possible. You got to never give up.
Now, where do you live? Where are you from right now?
Parkersburg, West Virginia. Actually, Vienna, a small school.
Okay.
West Virginia, Vienna, West Virginia.
Okay. At some point in time, you will most likely have to move to the Charlotte area.
Yeah, I'm currently living in Lexington, North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
I say West Virginia's home, and North Carolina's a temporary stop so I can make some money and move back home and race out of West Virginia. But Lexington's really close to RCR, so it's convenient. I head there every morning and work out with the strength and conditioning guy, Ray, and making the relationships. There's so many people there that it's just an ongoing process of meeting new people and building bonds to where I can maximize the whole facility and learn as much as I can.
Yeah, too bad they don't have any barbecue in Lexington.
Really?
Any good barbecue. I mean, I know they got barbecue there, but it's not as good as. Well, anyway, that's another story.
They have so many barbecue restaurants.
I know.
I am not even a barbecue fan.
Yeah. Now you're about the same age as Austin, and I guess you and Austin are about the same age. Austin Dillon, y'all about the same age.
Yeah, he's a couple years older, and then Ty, I think, just turned 23. So yeah, right there, everybody's about the same age group there.
And I assume, I would hope, that you would not be shy about talking to them about what you're getting into and how you're going to handle this thing.
Actually, I've just been texting back and forth with Austin today about different things. What I need to search for feel-wise and practice with my nationwide car. and different things they need to be prepared for in the race. And I watched some race footage of his on board and last year's race and stuff. You know, just trying to get prepared and listen to those guys because they've been in where I'm at now in my shoes.
Well, you got a lot of resources there with Brian Scott and Ty and everything running the race with you. So you ought to be able to get something from them to help you out a little bit.
Oh, definitely, and not even just the nationwide guys with Brian and Brendan and Ty. I mean, at the Cup level, there's so much experience to lean on those guys too. Brian Newman, Paul Menard, and Austin himself.
So how many races do you have scheduled for this year, and who was your favorite driver growing up?
I have 10 races this year, and hopefully more if I can run well and impress the right people. But growing up, Mark Martin was by far my favorite. Him and Tony Stewart. Mark Martin was probably my favorite though. And the reason why is when I was little, I loved the way his race car looked. I mean, I was just a little kid, and he had bright orange wheels with the Valvoline. There was like little check marks all over the side of the race car, and I thought that was the coolest looking car, and I kind of pegged him as my favorite up until I thought that he was on a part-time schedule, and before I really started getting into NASCAR, I made AJ Allmendinger my favorite driver. So those two have been my favorite two growing up.
I would assume that right now your favorite driver probably is an RCR driver. I mean, if Richard asks you tomorrow who's your favorite driver, you got about 4 or 5 you can pick from, and I think they're all right there in the building with you.
Yeah, I'm going to say that kid from West Virginia that's running the 33 this weekend.
Oh,
there you go. There you go.
Yeah, that's is Joe Falk involved with that car, or is Joe's a Cup guy? Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the Cup car.
Okay.
Now, Kyle, was that like hitting the lottery when you got a ride with Richard Childress? I mean, I can imagine you can't start out in much better equipment.
Yeah, that it's like, where does it become real? When does it really hit you? I
guess this week when you qualify.
Yeah.
Or you hit the wall. Which in Bristol,
That'll really hurt.
yeah.
If it gets to be real.
You know?
Well, I feel sorry for you that you got to work with Nick, but don't tell him I said it.
Or better yet, tell him.
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, he's such a fun guy. He's so funny. He's pretty cool and down to earth. He can turn it on and off.
You got that right.
Yeah, and he's very excitable. You know, he's got that kind of personality.
Yeah. I think that I hit a home run with getting the chance to work with him for sure.
Yeah.
Well, tell him I know about his deal with Sterling Marlin and all that stuff when you see him.
10-4, I'll do it.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and thank your sponsors and everything. I know you got 2 races this weekend. I know you got some sponsors you want to thank, and we appreciate your time. So tell us what all you got to tell us.
Yeah, we have a Kuma America on board this weekend. They've been a partner with RCR since 2000, so it's going to be cool to have them on board for my first 2 nationwide races. And man, I really got to give a shout out to Harold Hawley and Danny Myers. That us 3 have put in so much time on this K&N car, getting it ready. We didn't think we were going to be able to make it, and for the last few nights we haven't been back at the place to sleep past or before midnight. So we put and then back at 7 a.m. I really got to thank those guys, and it would be cool to get a K&N win for the night for all the work they've done for me to get that ready. But other than that, I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Everything goes good. I'm excited and ready for this nationwide race, and I want to top the whole weekend off with a good, solid K&N run too.
All right, man. Well, we'll get back with you again. Wish you good luck this weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, guys. Thank you very much.
Before you leave, Cale, those races are back to back, aren't they? Isn't the nationwide race Saturday afternoon, and K&N is immediately after that?
Yeah, that's
okay.
Right. K&N race is probably be just literally right after.
Yeah.
But I got to make sure that I don't sweat too much in the nationwide race, so I have a little bit left in reserve for that K&N race.
Well, the big question is, do you have to change uniforms, or can you wear the same one for both races?
Yeah, I was probably sprint over to the K&N car after the race and hop in and go for it.
Okay.
Well, good luck.
All right, man. Good luck, and we'll get back with you again and have you on real soon.
Thank you, guys. You guys have a good one.
All right, man. Talk to you later.
Yeah.
Two races back to back no longer is a big deal. It used to be. I remember at Richmond one year they rained out the nationwide race.
Oh yeah.
I remember that Cup race. And Carl Edwards ran both of them the same afternoon, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, Carl ran 250 and then 3 and then 400, I believe. So,
yeah, that was kind of a crazy ordeal.
It was a hurricane race. That was in September.
Yep.
A hurricane race. All right, Roger, who's next?
Well, we're supposed to have Tim.
Really? You got that Chinese restaurant sponsoring you now?
Needs to as much as he eats there.
Yeah,
I tell you.
He's going to eat there again tonight, too.
Let me go call Tim while y'all talking.
I don't know why you can leave it else, he's in trouble. All right, first 3 races in Cup. What's happened? Who surprises you? Who surprises you?
I would say Harvick. That team, I mean, those guys being so new. I mean, like he said they don't even know each other's names. And I think that team is going to do really well. I think this past weekend they were all running different setups, they were saying.
The other 3 Stewart-Haas cars have not done very well, but that's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, the thing that interests me is that a lot of my colleagues, a lot of my media buddies, the minute the 500 was over, they started writing, "This is Junior's year. He's going to do this. He's going to do that." And I'm thinking, okay, you got 35 races to go.
Yeah.
You got 25 to go to make the chase. How can you sit there and say that he's going to be great this year?
Because that's what everybody wants to hear.
I know, I understand that. If they had not had the late caution and the 3-lap sprint to the finish, he may not have won.
Mm-hmm.
And if he'd finished second, would anybody have said,
wouldn't have said anything.
He's done. He's just ain't got it.
I'm happy for him because I know he's got to feel like there's a ton of weight on his shoulders with all the pressure of who his dad is and the fans themselves that put on him. I mean, I'm just happy to. I run a little bit with him in late models, and he was actually a pretty nice guy.
He's a great guy.
I mean, he really is a down-to-earth, blue-collar person.
Yep. I wrote a column for Autoweek saying that he may be the most grounded superstar in racing.
Well,
because he doesn't seem to be impressed by himself.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a regular old guy.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what the biggest surprise to me so far is how good the Penske cars are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah.
They're front row last 2 races.
And it's like they're both on the same page. One's not out in left field and
they've got this qualifying thing down pat.
Yeah.
They know exactly what they got to do and how they got to do it.
Do you think some of that come over from like the IndyCar guys from doing some of the qualifying that they do? Because they sort of have a similar.
Yeah, they do it on road courses only though. So I don't know. It's
But if you'd seen way Brad Keselowski tore out of that pit when they opened the qualifying up the other day at Vegas.
Oh yeah.
He was passing cars going crazy down through there trying to get out on that track.
Yeah.
So they got it down pat. They know what they're doing.
Well, and now they're going
and my biggest disappointment is Danica Patrick.
Oh, she's done so well. She's only crashed twice.
Is it 3 races, 2 crashes?
So far. And she was. And let me tell you what, she beat her teammates the other day.
Yeah, she did.
But 21st is not really. I mean, yeah, come on.
What?
Barely top half of the grid.
What do you think? What's slowing Tony down? You think he still got a little fright from the crash?
I don't know if he's scared. I don't know if he's frightened about speed or anything. I just think, I heard somebody wrote today that he just hadn't been in a car in so long, you know, for great long stretches.
Yeah.
He's just not used to it yet.
And got the feel back.
Well, he's got a new crew chief too this year.
Yeah, normally that wouldn't bother him a whole lot. Cause
But up in Phoenix, he'd gotten up to I think about what 10th, somewhere around 10th.
well, you can look at a race and you can find a moment when everybody is running pretty good.
Danica was up in the top 10 once or twice.
Good stop, recycle. But Tony will be all right. You know, I don't. The Bush team, the Kurt Busch team, hadn't showed me a whole lot.
But
I was happy for Harvick. I mean, second race with the new team.
Yeah.
Winner circle.
Yeah. And he'd have been in the
But
top
is that a new
3 last
team or
week,
is that just leftover stuff from when Newman was there?
That's Newman's team.
It's Newman's team.
So it's not really a new team.
But I mean,
Kurt's a new team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kurt is absolutely a new team. And you know,
they've had. I mean, he's had speed though. I mean, wasn't last week he was running up the top 10 and then
yeah, he was leading.
He always qualifies decent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But he to put the finishing touches on is where he had problems.
Well, yeah. But I mean, none of it's been any fault of his own.
Now I would like to see maybe him hop in a Danica car and Danica hop into his car. And
No, that might not be good.
see other than he might lose his nice ride, but to see how well she can do, see if she changes how she drives.
the Gibbs cars have not done particularly well. Hamlin's had a horrible start. But again, and here I am bitching about my colleagues right after one race. What can you say after 3? Not a whole lot. Most drivers that I've talked to through the years feel like California, which is the 5th race of the year. California is kind of the place where when we come back from California, we've been to a restrictor plate track, a flat mile, a cookie cutter mile and a half, Bristol, which is nothing, and a 2-mile moderate. So when they come back from California, I think you'll have a little bit better idea of who's doing what to whom then. And the fact that guys have won a race does not lock them into the chase.
Nope.
They keep saying, well, I'm locked into the chase now. No, you're not.
Well, the chances.
That's what they say.
The chances are good. They're better. But they're not locked in by any means.
No. I'm surprised the Rouse Fenway cars have really not been that good.
Well,
they really haven't done anything. But I mean, we're still 3 races in.
Other than Penske's cars, the Fords are down.
Right, Fords are not good at all.
Yeah, other than the Penske cars, everybody else. I mean, that's the Penske cars, and they're fast.
Yeah.
But you don't see any of the other Fords. They'll come up and run a little bit, and then they'll fall back. Greg Biffle's had a terrible time.
Mm.
He's had it rough. He wasn't even close to being good this past weekend.
And there's absolutely no reason to believe that either Austin Dillon or Kyle Larson will be Rookie of the Year. The other 6 guys, I'm sorry, nice to have you here, but you ain't got a shot.
No.
Not when you're running against those 2.
Yeah, I know. It's the way it is. But NASCAR's thrilled to have 2 competitive rookies, because last year you had Ricky and Danica, and neither was really competitive.
Yeah.
2 years ago, it might have been Stephen Light, maybe, might have been Rookie of the Year. 3 years ago, it might have been Andy Lally.
Yeah, it hasn't really been that.
They haven't had a great rookie year
In a long
since
time.
Logano won it over some other fairly decent guy 5 years ago, maybe 6 now. But there has not been a real good rookie race for years. So NASCAR's happy to have, not only in numbers, they got 8.
Yeah, 8.
But they've only got 2 that are really good, and 6 that are, young teenagers in some cases. So we'll see what happens.
All right, let's look at Nationwide for a minute. Talk about Nationwide. What do you think about the start Chase Elliott's had over there in the Nationwide? Now he's the real deal.
He's the real deal.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
And
I think the thing that Bill has done, Bill has brought him along very much like Childress did with his grandsons. You get good here,
Yep.
and then you go. You don't stay really great where you were because you don't get any better staying there.
Right, I agree with that.
You go, and I can't even tell you what Chase has run. I don't even know if he's run a full schedule of anything. Did he run a full K&M schedule?
No, he didn't.
But he's run.
I thought he did.
No, not K&M.
But he's run enough races and enough series to where Bill said, okay, you got this late model stuff down. You're okay at late models, and you're okay at K&N, and you won the snowball derby, but they disqualified you. I think Bill's doing it right. Bill's moving him up very slowly. But you can do that when you've got Rick Hendrick waiting for you at the end of the hallway. You can be as slow as you want to be.
Yeah.
Because Rick's not going to go anywhere.
And the money's going to keep right on going.
Right.
Yeah.
And I know that Ganassi just signed this
Koznaski.
K. I call him K. I can't even spell his name. He signed him, which indicates to me that within about 3 years, McMurray will be gone, and you'll have Larson.
2 years.
Well, now this kid's got to run a year or two at Nationwide before they give him a cup ride.
But McMurray, I think they were talking about the other day, McMurray's contract.
On the contract deal, yeah, maybe so. Okay.
In 2 years, and his contract's done.
Yeah.
So I think they're starting him to.
You'll have two diversity. You have a diversity driver and a guy who can't spell his last name, but.
The K kid, huh?
And don't get me started on that diversity deal. You can't tell me that, and I love him to death. He's a nice guy. He's been really good to me. Sergio Pena is not a diversity guy. He looks like 95% of the white guys in America. A little Hispanic blood, but not much. Kyle Larson looks just like you do.
No, he looks better than that.
Well,
Hold on now, hold on. I wouldn't go all that.
The only diversity driver NASCAR gives a rat's ass about is Bubba Wallace.
Yep. So that's their whole plan.
Exactly.
Everything is back on him.
It's taken them 11 years to get a guy in Cup. That's Larson, and they want Bubba to make it. I told Rick Godovic about 6-8 months ago. Brandon Godovic won a K&N race. The mistake he made was he won it the week after. He won it the week after Ben Kennedy won.
Oh yeah.
And he won it a week after or before Bubba Wallace won. I said, you didn't have a chance. You weren't going to get any publicity out of anybody because they were going to give Ben Kennedy all the ink and all the TV time they could. And generally, you would have been the next guy they interviewed, but then Bubba wins one, wherever it was, and they gave him all the ink and all the TV time. So tell Brandon to win one at a time when it's more advantageous to be the media star.
Let's talk racing.
Hey, it's Ryan.
Hey, Ryan, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
All right, this is Jack Dodson. I got Al Pearce and Scott Allen and Roger Brehm with us tonight, and trying to get in and talk to you about how things are going with you.
Yeah, things are going good. Just sitting here in Tennessee getting ready for Bristol.
Now, you just signed on with SR2, is that correct?
Yep, SR2 Motorsports in the number 24 00 nationwide.
So are you going to be running the rest of the season with them, or do you have selected races?
It's going to be on a kind of like an as we can find sponsorship basis. So it's a contract that I guess all of our sponsorship money that we find will be going to our relationship and not to another team or anything else. So if somebody else finds funding, then I'll hop out of the car. But as long as there's no funding, I'll be doing some racing. And if I find any sponsorship, then I'll be in the car too.
Now, what part of Tennessee are you from?
Oh, I'm not from Tennessee. I'm just here right now.
Oh, you're in Bristol already?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Is it snowing out there yet?
No, apparently it is supposed to snow tonight, which we're up here in the mountains, so it should be kind of interesting and pretty cool to watch.
Now, where are you from originally?
I'm from the D.C. area, so I lived in Northern Virginia, and
Tell us where.
Northern Virginia, Fairfax.
Okay, I know where Fairfax is. Yeah.
Yeah, I went to George Mason University. And,
Oh, did you really? Okay. Were you there when they did their Final Four run, or was that before your time?
Nah, that was a little bit before my time. So, yeah, I just moved down to Morehouse a month ago. So,
Oh, okay.
really exciting.
Well, give us a little background on where Ryan Ellis started at and how he got to where he's at now.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I started about 20 years ago. I was racing quarter midgets and go-karts. I'm a third-generation driver. My dad raced motocross, and his father raced as well, so my grandfather was actually in the USAC Hall of Fame, and he was actually killed in a racing accident back in 1958 when my dad was about 6 months old. And he flipped his car just before roll cages were, I guess, created. So he was one of the last deaths in that era. But Dad raced his whole life, got me into it when I was 4 years old, and I went through, I guess, the quarter midgets, go-karts, Legends cars, and NASCAR late models. And then I did the Grand Am Road Racing Series for 3 or 4 years, and somehow found my way into the Nationwide Series.
And when you did the late models, where did you race your late models at?
Raced it actually up in Manassas at Old Dominion Speedway and quite a bit down in North Carolina at Orange County Speedway and Southern National Speedway.
Oh, okay.
So had a lot of fun with that, but that's very expensive and you're battling some real big budget kids. And they're not afraid to tear stuff up. You kind of get away from that world pretty quickly.
Now, you said you've done some Grand Am road racing.
Yeah, I did Grand Am from, I think, 2011 to last year. And won 3 or 4 races, Daytona and Miami. And won SD Rookie of the Year back in 2011. And won my first 2 races that I ever ran, actually, in that series. So it was really good for me, and I met a lot of great people in that series.
Now, what kind of cars you run?
I ran in a Volkswagen GTI, a Mazda Speed3, and a BMW.
Oh, okay.
So a little bit of everything, front-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, and I've kind of, this taught me a lot of different things, in terms of car control.
So you may be the only guy in America who's ever raced at Manassas and on the road course at Daytona. I don't know who, well, maybe Elton, no, Elton Sawyer didn't do that. That's a pretty good resume. Did you do like Mid-Ohio and Watkins Glen and places like that?
Oh yeah, I won my first national championship actually at Mid-Ohio back in 2011 or 2012. That's probably my favorite track in the United States, Mid-Ohio, and then Road America. I've driven quite a bit too, so that's helped me out. And that's actually what got me into the NASCAR Nationwide Series was my road course experience. And now I'm just kind of trying to really focus on getting rid of that road course ringer mentality and prove people that I've been driving ovals a lot longer than I've been driving road courses, and I can do both.
So even though you're at Bristol this weekend, you'll probably have one eye, or you'll be at least a little bit aware that they're at Sebring this weekend.
Oh yeah, I've been looking at Twitter updates and everything, and I would love to be down there racing. But like I said, I'm really happy on the NASCAR side of things. But anytime that the 2 tracks are at the same place at the same time, I would love to get back into a Grand Am car. It's just a little harder to find funding, I think, in that side of the motorsports world. So it's been a little bit easier to find money in the NASCAR side.
That's pretty cool. I had no idea you were that much of a road racer. That's good. I'll tell you what, if you win Daytona first in class and you win at Mid-Ohio and you run Road America and those places, you must be pretty good.
Thank you.
This guy's pretty good. All right, I have spoken. You're good.
That's the approval right
there. That's it, baby.
You're on your way to the top now.
And I'll bet you, I'm willing to bet right now, that since you're a road race guy, you've probably heard of a magazine called Autoweek.
Oh yeah, of course.
There you go. That's my magazine. I've been writing for those guys for 40 years. I'll come by Bristol Friday and say hello.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
I've been their NASCAR guy since early 70s.
Oh wow. Well, yeah, I won't unfortunately be in a car this weekend. Ruby Garcia is stepping into 24.
But you'll be at Bristol, won't you?
Oh yeah, and I'll have tons of free time, so we can do whatever.
Yeah, I'll come over and say hello. How about that? A reader, a fan. He may have seen my name and not even meant to.
Exactly.
There you go.
Well, keep this name in mind, Al Pearce.
Al Pearce.
I'll bring some magazines with me. I got about 4 or 5 of it at home. I'll bring them. Let you catch up.
Oh, you just moved to the top of the heap here, buddy.
He's a road racing guy. Man, he's good. He's a road racer.
So, are you looking forward to a road course race? I mean, is that something you're for sure going to be running in the nationwide car?
Yeah, right now, we have obviously a list of priorities of what we really want to do the full race of. Right now, Mid-Ohio is obviously the top of that list. We qualified the Dewey Means car, which is one of the lesser funded cars in the Nationwide Series. I qualified 31st and last year, and that's a pretty good feat in terms of that equipment. So I'm pretty excited to see what we can do this year in the 24. I think we can really pull off like a top 15, which would be really exciting for everybody. And would love to run Road America and love to run Motorsport, the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park in Canada too. But unfortunately, I don't think we could find a truck ride for too cheap up there.
Well, maybe Al can talk to somebody for you.
I'll talk to somebody at Autoweek. We'll find you a sponsor. How about that?
Sounds good. I like the ring of it. We can make it work.
Yeah.
Well, how did you get connected with SR2?
It's actually kind of a funny story. Last year, first off, I just did that one race out at Mid-Ohio on the Nationwide Series, and it kind of came out of nowhere. I didn't even know it was going to be in the cards on the day before. And I ended up missing the practice and everything, and went out and did the thing with Jimmy Means, and was down at my girlfriend's house at the time down in Richmond, and she was like, "Oh, it'd be really cool if if you ran the Richmond race." I was like, "Oh yeah, it's impossible to find money for that." Made some phone calls, and 5 days away from the event, found a sponsor, and they were fully paid for and everything, so it was really exciting. And we kind of shopped around our sponsorship to see who could take us the furthest, so we really wanted to get a locked-in car. So we didn't have to qualify in for the points. And the 24 team worked with us, so the SR2 Motorsports, and ended up working well together with him and Blake. Blake Cook was our driver last year. And he kind of became my mentor and has helped me out a ton. And I'm on the same contract he was on 2 years ago, and now I'm really happy to be their lead driver this year. It kind of came out of nowhere, obviously, considering I was racing Nissan Altimas this time last year.
So are you going to be running anything else besides just filling in a nationwide car?
Well, obviously we'll be running the nationwide car, and we'll be doing 4 races in the truck series, if not more. I think we might actually be doing close to a full schedule when it comes down to it, if we can get a contract signed.
Now, who's that going to be with?
I don't think I'm allowed to say yet, but it's a one-car team that is looking to expand a 2-car team. I'll put it that way. It's a small budget team.
We won't tell nobody.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm sure. You guys could probably do the math there. It's owner driver. So it's a driver that also owns a car. I'll give you that hint. And but
you keep going. We're gonna get there in a minute. I'm steadily looking what I can come up with.
You know, I can tell that this young man is intelligent. No, wait, now Ryan will agree with this. You used the word a few minutes ago. No. You used the word a few minutes ago that 99% of racers would have misused. You said you were looking for somebody to take you further in your career. Most people would have said farther in my career. But you know the difference in further and farther. No, that's a big thing. This guy can talk to people.
I ain't got nowhere.
No.
He can be a sportscaster after he's done.
I mean, very serious. It sounds to me like if you could get in front of the right type of person, you would. I think you'll present a pretty good image, and you might be able to convince somebody that you are what they need to move their product. I mean, seriously, because you use the word correctly where most people would not have.
I mean, that's pretty enticing, I'm sure, actually.
Well, there's that George Mason University education coming into play.
There you go. Yeah, see, there's not many college-educated drivers right now in NASCAR, but I think you're seeing a rise in education in NASCAR, and it's pretty exciting to see that there's a new generation coming in, and people that are on the circuit right now that are getting an education. And obviously, I kind of went a different route, got my education first, and decided to pursue the motorsports career afterwards. It's been a great journey, obviously. And I was working in a cubicle 6 weeks ago, and I just quit that job and came down, and really excited to give this racing thing a go and see if we can make it work.
And I'm going to say one more thing before I shut up. These other gentlemen want to talk also. Roger, our genial host, will tell you that I give every young driver the same advice when dealing with the media. And here's my advice with dealing with the media. Take off your damn sunglasses. I'm serious. I don't care how hot it is, whether you're outdoors or indoors. If you're talking to a reporter, or you're talking to a cameraman, or a videographer, and he's talking to you about your career and about your day at the racetrack, take off your sunglasses. Nothing insults a media person more except Richard Petty, and he can do what he wants to do. But until you get to be Richard Petty's situation, just simply take off your glasses, put them up on your cap, and talk to the guy face to face. That's my only media advice, because I think you're probably smart enough to know what to say and what not to say. So.
Oh, yeah, I completely agree with that. I mean, I think guys are, they tell a lot of people about personality, and you can really tell emotion, and that's, I mean, I think what the message that gets across is just your image and being able to take your glasses off. And I wouldn't necessarily fit in my hat because usually I have a sponsor.
You got a sponsor, right? Okay, but yeah.
This guy thinks way ahead.
He's good. I'll come see you at Bristol on Friday, and we'll.
Well, now,
class.
Well, now that you and Al have got this romance thing going on,
I'm gonna make him a star. That's all there is to it. I am.
Where do you like to eat at, Ryan? Because that's his next question.
No.
Anything unhealthy. Anything unhealthy is good with me.
Have you ever raced in Phoenix?
No, I actually haven't. My dad raced in Phoenix his whole life, growing up in road racing and SECA and some other organizations, but I've never actually gotten the chance to drive out there.
Not been to In-N-Out Burger yet.
Oh, I've had tons of In-N-Out.
There you go. He's my guy.
That was one of my first stops when I went out there. My dad loves El Pollo Loco, so that's it.
He's my guy.
On that way.
So you'll be hanging around the 24 cars, is that correct?
Yep, I'll be with them, trying to help out Ruben Garcia and get him acclimated to the car.
Okay.
Hey Al, wasn't the other piece of advice you used to tell them too was to make sure when you're talking to them to remember who you're talking to?
Yeah, try to remember the reporter's name and just somewhere during your answer, just drop in the guy's name, like, well, you know, Al, we had a really good day, yada yada yada, or yeah, Mr. Utter or Mr. Pockrass or whomever.
Dr. Pockrass.
It impresses a writer or a reporter to know that the guy he's talking to is as much into the conversation as the writer is. So just throw his name in there, and you'll earn even more points.
Yeah, that's something I've been trying to work on.
There you go.
Not that you can get much higher without.
Hey, Ryan. Hey, Ryan. Yeah. I appreciate you taking time to come on the show, but I didn't know you and him were going to hit it off like this.
Well, even very few guys on your show are road racers, and I like to talk to road racers because they're usually pretty good drivers.
Well, I hope I get to meet you sometime along. I can't help you the way he can.
Well, he's going to be at the truck race, so we'll see him at Martinsville. More than likely, he's going to be in a truck.
I hope so, yeah. It seems like I probably will be sitting out for Martinsville, but I think it's always good to be at the track. And if you're sitting at home, you're not creating any relationships. And I've actually probably furthered my career more.
Further, see? Further, there he goes. He knows. This kid's good. I keep calling you a kid. How old are you anyway?
24.
Oh, you're a kid.
Actually, like on the elder side of everything.
Yeah.
Al, if anybody's racing still, they're a kid to you.
Well, that's true. Yeah. That's the same age as my daughter. My daughter went to Longwood in Radford, and she turns 25 in July. So anyway, so I know exactly kind of where you're coming from.
I was really scared where that was going to.
He can try to work out something here.
Hey Ryan, the number you called in on, we can get in touch with you at that number, right?
Oh, of course, yeah. Feel free free to call me anytime. And I mean, if you guys want to make this a weekly thing, we can do that. Like I said, I love being on the air, and great to be on here. And thanks for having me, guys.
It just makes it easier to snag you if we're down at the same racetrack.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right, well, Ryan, we appreciate your time.
Oh yeah.
And remember, Al Pearce.
I'll come find you at Bristol on Friday.
That's not a hard day.
Sponsors.
I'll have some new Autoweeks with me, and we can
He'll
talk.
be the old guy around there.
I am the old guy, right?
and feel great. He ain't even offered us an Autoweek magazine.
Well, hell, y'all can't read.
Oh, speak for yourself, okay?
All right, Ryan, you got any sponsors you want to thank? Anybody you want to thank? Go ahead and do it right now, and we'll let you get back to what you were doing.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'd love to thank SO2 Motorsports first off, and Jason Sabicha, our team, for giving me the opportunity this year to really prove, I guess, what I can do behind the wheel. SDNY Racing and Jim Rosenblum have given me an opportunity to ride 4 truck races this year, and that's pretty exciting to me. I've never even raced trucks till this year. And besides that, I'd like to thank my sponsors, Super Light Cars, which is a kit car manufacturer out of Detroit. And I've been their lead driver for 4 years now, and they sponsored a car out at Vegas, and it was really cool to be able to represent them in a race and obviously drive their car and be able to develop such a cool prototype my whole life. And outside of that, I want to thank D1 Group and the Kappa Sigma fraternity because they've been a huge help this year, and hopefully we can keep moving forward. And thank you guys for having me on the air, of course.
Well, we appreciate your time. And Ryan, who's your crew chief, Ryan?
My crew chief right now?
On the 24.
It was Tony Furr for this weekend. Now it's a guy named Rob. I don't even know his last name. He's the only
Some guy named Rob.
Oh, okay. I was thinking that was the team Benny Gordon was with.
Yeah, that's Benny used to work with the 24 team, and now he's with Vision Racing in the 1737 with Tanner Barriel.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Well, we appreciate your time, and we'll talk to you again soon.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right, man.
Thanks. See you Friday.
That's Al Pearce.
I'm not going to come back anymore.
We won't have no fun.
These two guys have gotten into the stirring it up mode, okay? I tell you what. Now, by the way, our buddy Timothy Peters is in the lead in the truck series in points.
After one race?
After one race.
All that matters.
Hey.
His name's on the top of the board.
And it's for a nice long period of time, for a full month at least.
That's right. Yeah, there you go. Say, man, you've been leading the points all month.
All right, we done?
Well, I hope to further my career.
He's learning.
How much farther along are you going to carry this?
And look, when you go up to the arena races next time, and they interview you after you get out of the car after about one or two
say it wrong.
Or 1 or 2 laps. I know you don't make more than that.
I'd never slam you like that.
Well, somebody said he gets out of the car early so he can go get a hamburger. Because he's sponsored by a hamburger joint.
Oh, really?
Johnny Rockets.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, I go
over on the waterside.
Oh, now you going to be buddies with him.
What do you got to offer? I got burgers and milkshake.
Well, I hear 5 guys.
When do you want to go, Al?
Give me a 5 guys in a chocolate shake. By the way, gas prices down here at your end of the Mercury Boulevard are 21 cents a gallon cheaper than at the other end of Mercury Boulevard.
Yeah, did you know, it's all the 7-Elevens have done something the past couple of days. They're all $3.09 a gallon.
Yeah.
All the 7-Elevens.
Yeah. There's a gas station near my house in Hilton
I thought
Village.
there's gas anyway,
It's
folks.
$3.37. $3.37 and $3.09. You think I won't drive a long way to save 28 cents a gallon? You kidding me? Absolutely.
He'll be down here more often. Damn it.
Just once a week.
Well, that's all you need
don't
to
need
fill
to
it
fill
up.
up more than that.
Well, when he has to go traveling on the road, though.
Yeah, I'll burn it all up going to Bristol and back.
Yeah, and then some.
All right, we done?
So where are we eating in Bristol while we're down there?
Chick-fil-A probably.
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
They know we're nice.
Chick-fil-A and Longhorn.
Wow, you let me down on that one. I was expecting some big, because, you know.
Well, there's a place called, there's a barbecue joint in Bristol called Ridgewood.
I heard of it.
Everybody swears about, but it just doesn't do anything for me.
Are you a barbecue guy?
I'm from Eastern North Carolina. You got to.
Oh yeah. I love barbecue.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll catch everybody next week on the show. Everybody seems like they
we'll
had a
be
good
here
time
to
tonight.
further our careers. And
We hope to further this along, huh?
I'm gonna further along this button. See y'all.
Hey guys, I'm Daytona 500 winner Trevor Bain, and thank you for watching Let's Talk Racing.
Hi, I'm Robert Richardson Jr., driver of the number 23 Dodge Challenger for R3 Motorsports in the NASCAR Nationwide Series, and you're watching Let's Talk Racing.
I'm Timothy Peters, driver of the number 17 Toyota NASCAR Camp World Truck Series, and you're listening to Let's Talk Racing.
Here's your 2011 champion, David Brehm.
Hi, this is David Flens, driver of the 33 NASCAR Late Model, 2011 Old Dominion Speedway track champion. Thank you for watching Let's Talk Racing TV.
I'm Sam Hunt, driver 42 car on the thing Let's Talk Racing.
Hi, my name is Natalie Sather. I drive the 94 K&N Lady Eagle Safety Wear, Butler Built Seats, Bell Helmets, Hooker Harness Seat Belts, number 94 at South Boston Speedway. Be sure to listen to Let's Talk